they've done for some of their stuff. Twilight is most definitely shit, but and it's really funny. But they'll do that, and before they did Riff Tracks, they did a show called Mystery Science Theater, where basically they would watch these really old, crappy movies, and they would sit in a theater, and you'd watch the movie with them, and they'd make fun of it the whole time. And that's what we would watch, and they were hilarious. Like, some of them were just like really, 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 really funny, and they took that feature out. Like, I hated that. Like, one time I had like we all had our headsets on, we all lived in different spots, and we were watching the movies together, and then like one day, like, it updated and they took it out, and I'm like, I hate you.
It has to be some sort of
Why did you
copyright thing.
take away the
I wanted to stream Netflix and get everyone on Twitch to watch my Netflix, and then like, oh well, they probably can't do that because not everyone buys it, and that's cheap.
But yeah, I miss that. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Well, now we've all become like we're already in a digital world. It's ridiculous.
Well, what cracks me up is they don't bring it back. Like, I just thought it was a really convenient feature to
Uh-huh.
have. To kind of like just have it integrated within the app. It's like, oh, you're gonna do this, and then you can like watch this with them, and I don't know.
Yeah, you
It
can
was just
invite
nice.
people over, which is cool.
Oh yeah, it was funny. Like, one of my friends would show up late, so like his avatar comes running into the movie theater. You can, and like he'll sit down. You can emote while you're in the theater too, like giving it like a thumbs up or throwing popcorn in your mouth or something like. I don't know. It was just kind of.
Just little.
It was just
See,
like
it's the
this little thing
simplicity
that
of
was
things.
kind of cool. Yeah,
I miss simplicity.
it was. It was very simplistic. It was very fun.
Oh, and that's the cool thing
Sometimes we were
about.
too tired to like play a game, but we wanted to watch a movie kind of
Yeah,
a
you
thing.
all want us to still hang out, and you don't want to. Yeah, I get exhausted from
And
fucking
laugh.
typing
Like,
all
that
the
was the
time.
other thing. Just laugh. Ah, nostalgia.
Let's see. So is the Rise of Iron story over as soon as you get the sword? Because that seems kind of gay. I mean, sorry, homosexual.
What? I totally missed that. You went from sword to what? Homosexual?
No, oh my god. No, I was asking if the Rise of Iron, the story is over as soon as you get the sword. Because if it is,
Oh,
it's kind of stupid.
I think after you fight that boss, right? Like, you have to like use the axes to take
Yeah.
down his shield or something like that.
Yeah. That's stupid.
Because the Rise of Iron story was really short.
It
That
was,
was really
yeah.
my one beef with it. I was like, oh, this is really good. But it ended way too quick. Where like Taken King, I felt like had like a lot of supplemental like little story bits even after you beat the main
Yeah.
thing.
That's why I like Destiny so much too, is because just because you beat the story doesn't mean you can't rank up your different like factions and shit, you know.
Yeah,
God, you're looking like Luke Skywalker.
if they beef up, all right. So for Destiny 2, I think if they beef up, like, I don't like how the little open area exit sections are in the game because they're pretty much just like going and doing these like fetch quests. You don't actually explore it. If they turned it into having a little bit of Fallout or something like that, where it actually is like, oh, I'm exploring instead of actually just filling out these checklists, I think the next one will be like greatly improved
Oh,
and having a coherent narrative from the beginning.
I can't wait for D2. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, I love Bungie. I'm a big fan of Bungie, and there was definitely a lot of stuff in Taken King that really reminded me of, oh yeah, these guys made Halo.
Yep. Which you totally get that feel from this game, but it's a little bit more modern warfare, like for lack of a better way to
Yeah.
say it. Yeah.
No, I understand where you're going with that.
Although, if I were to have some sort of complaint, I do not like that in the beginning of this game they start you out with some dumbass fucking World War II loadout while everyone else has laser guns.
Oh, the like Russian Kalashnikov or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you talking about? Why do all these aliens have these guns, but I'm sitting here in a goddamn warehouse looking for a fucking ship with a goddamn pistol?
It sounds like you were bothered by this.
Extremely.
Kept me up for days.
I lost sleep. Lots of sleep. Just trying to figure it out, man. I overthink things way too much. Which is probably why I stay away from websites like IGN and shit like that. Like, you are wrong, and I don't want to tell you why, but I don't know who to contact to do that.
That was funny thing you say that. That's the reason why I really started doing, like, one of the reasons why I really started doing YouTube is every time something would come out, I would, and not from like a hipster thing, because I'm not a hipster at all. I really hate them. Because they're different for the sake of being different, and it's not, like, it's just stupid. It's like, oh, this is different and not trendy.
Yeah,
oh, well, now it's trendy now, so we hate it.
It's
like,
to be ironic.
Yeah, and I don't like that. For me, I just have different perspectives on things, which happens to be different than like what the vocal media has. So that's why I was like, I feel like there's other people out there that share my opinions, and would like to like talk and kind of be like a voice or something like that for that. Because I don't see anyone else out there. Because here's a really good example of just how different I am. We talked about this earlier. You know, a lot of major publications said that Batman v Superman was not good. I loved it, and I have reasons for saying why I loved it. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I did love it. And here's another one. Resident Evil 7 came out. I played Resident Evil 7. Everybody thought that was the best thing ever. I did not. I did think it was very good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. But there were a lot of issues with the game that I feel like a lot of publications really overlooked, and even some of the higher level, like, higher subscriber YouTube people, that I was just like, I was like, did we play the same game? Because I feel like you're missing some things. Because everyone comments are like, oh my god, it's so amazing, and then to the end of the game, and I'm like, it effectively ends, like I said this in my review, like a wet fart. It ends really anticlimactically compared to the rest of the game, and I was like, it also feels kind of rushed. And for a game that's $60 that only has a story mode that lasts about 10 hours, where the last Resident Evil games had co-op and other modes and all this other stuff, and there's DLC coming out a week after launch, 2 weeks after launch.
Yep, I can't. That shit pisses me off.
I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I can tell you right now that shit was cut out of the game. So, it's just that kind of stuff where I'm like, no one else seems to see it. Now, is it a good game? Sure. Yeah, it's a very good game. Is it worth trying? Yes. Is it worth $60? That's relative. That's also another thing that I try to do. I hate numbers, and I hate rating systems, because tell me the difference between an 8.9 and a 9.
Blackwell asks, did they not have to rush it because of the movie tie-in and the Slender Man project?
It could have been. I don't know. My thing is, it's like, and this is all subjective, right? Because like your $60 is different than my $60, than his $60, than someone else's $60. It's the same way I do it. It's like, if you make, $50 to a guy who makes $50,000 a year is different than $50 who makes $500,000. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing where I feel like it's. And here's a good example too. Is I feel like it's so all reviews are based on the day of launch. I don't think that makes a bad game, if that makes any sense. Like, people are like, oh, it's not worth $60. It's not a good game. Like, what's a good example? The Order.
Oh, I had that game.
The Order came out. Yeah, The Order came out. It's 5 hours long. And it's got the best matches you will ever see in a game. And it's a really fun game. It's very short, but it's a really fun game. Do I think it's $60? No. Do I think it's a bad game? No. I think it's a very good game. But it depends on who you are, how much you should pay for it. It's why when I say things, for me, this is just me. I just don't think that stuff should kind of be a factor into it, because some things too, like people are like, oh, this game is crap, and it may not be worth it to buy it at $60 now, but say it gets patched and it gets better,
Uh-huh.
or they get an expansion like i.e. Destiny, I'm like, oh, it's still worth it. Like that's why I hate the people that are like, oh, it's too little, too late. I'm like, no, you just don't. You're not going to be happy with anything. You're being a dick. Like for me, I'm always like, if people try to fix it and they do a decent job trying to fix it or patch it or anything like that, I love giving them credit for it, because the way I look at it is, if you buy the game, they don't have to fix it. They already have your money. They're done.
Exactly. Exactly. And I feel like a lot of gaming companies
I don't want to
do
give them
that.
credit for it. That's just me.
Well, it's funny because I bought Deadpool when it first came out, like $60 straight
Oh, the
up.
video game?
Oh, I love the video game. I thought it was so funny.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, it is.
And I bought it strictly for the hilarity behind everything.
Nolan North does a really good Deadpool.
However, I was heavily into, because you only in the game you only take care of like the one contract, you know, like that one main contract. I thought for sure they were gonna drop some DLCs with different contracts. Thought for sure that was gonna be a thing, and it wasn't, and I was very disappointed in that fact. I was like, okay, I spent $60 on this game. I can accept that because I'm still very satisfied with the game. The replayability on that game is just, again, astronomical. Okay, dude, are you blind? Apparently I am, because I cannot shoot this guy. This guy's meleeing the wrong person.
Whereas someone might look at Deadpool and be like, it's not worth that.
Oh, see, yeah, and I don't, but again, you kind of have to not be a fan of Deadpool,
But
though,
it's
if you're not
still a
gonna like
good
it.
game. Like, that's the thing. Like, the money thing, I feel like, shouldn't be a thing involved. It's like, my thing is it worth your time?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I try to focus on. Is it worth your time to play this? Because here's the thing. We all have this. Like, we talk about expectations a bunch.
I think I had
And
like
if
a
you
10
pay
kill streak in
for
this match.
if you pay for a game that's $10 that got reduced from $60 and it's $10 now, and you play it and you enjoy it, you are more than willing to forgive the game on many of its faults.
Uh-huh.
You'll still recognize it, but you'll also feel like you got your money's worth.
Ooh,
That's
look at
that's
that
where
really
I try
quick.
to
I'm
be
sorry,
like,
just look at that. 20 and 8, son.
wow, wow, man,
Yeah,
you're like me in Battlefront right now. I'm just
I think I had like a 10 kill streak right there. It's like at the end. I was like,
hold
what
on.
the
I need to
fuck?
get
No
a
one's
box
killing
of
me.
tissues. I have to go off mic.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
that's the best. I just took a
victorious.
screenshot. That's the best I've ever done in this game.
I was here to witness it. So when you become famous from that screenshot, like I was there.
I'll sign it and everything. To my one and only love. Although I mean, Loken is kind of in that spot right now. Somehow, we stayed up really late one day, and somehow I got thrown into the fact that Loken and I are in love and we're married, and it was hazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. You're telling me.
That's deep.
Yeah, it was. Damn.
And I forgot what we were talking about.
We're talking about Deadpool and the value of games towards
Oh yeah,
with other people.
value games. I don't know. I
The Order
I
was too
think that
cinematic to
stuff
me
is just
personally.
silly.
I just
Did you
like
like it? What did you think of it?
I first of all have not finished it, so again I cannot have uh, a valid opinion on it just
Yeah,
because
no, I got you.
I bought the PlayStation and I got the Modern Warfare bundle with it, so I had iDub and Modern Warfare, and I was
Gotcha.
getting really sick and tired of the kids on those games. My buddy works at a pawn shop, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I was getting so mad." Um, my buddy works at a pawn shop, and he had that game, and they were selling it for $5, and so he picked it up. He's like, "Here, I thought you would like this. I read some reviews on it. It'd be a good game." I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." And I started playing it. I got about halfway through it, and then I went back to Infinite Warfare.